Hello, and welcome to day 2 of 100 Days of Soulforce. My name is Joseph Arnold, and today we're going to be talking about interbeing. Interbeing is the vital, philosophical, spiritual, and experiential underpinning of Soulforce performance arts, as I see it, and I believe that it is really, really crucial for us to understand interbeing, to be able to take effective action in the world, to be able to bring healing to a world in need, and also to really achieve the greatest heights of mastery of our craft, which is, in my opinion, Soulforce. The combination of heart and craftsmanship and inspiration and life purpose, real human connection in performance, teaching, practice, composition, all aspects of our life as an artist. So interbeing, that's what we're going to be getting into today. I'm going to give some background on what is interbeing, what is that word, where does it come from, and some examples from the arts where we could see interbeing at work and how important and effective an idea it is. And at the end, we'll do a little guided contemplation to give you a real experience of what I'm talking about here. So, interbeing is a term that comes from Thich Nhat Hanh, who was, he just died recently, actually. He was a very great Zen monk. He wrote many books and had a monastery in France, Plum Village. Very influential, just a beautiful heart. And he coined this term interbeing, for the utter interconnectedness of all things. Even interconnectedness doesn't quite get to the level of interbeing. I could say that, for instance, my survival depends on this one forest. This is where I get my food and shelter and this kind of thing. So interdependency. And, I could see how my life and the lives of the animals and plants inside the forest are connected. But interbeing goes a step further, saying that I and the forest inter-are. It's not quite the same as oneness, because there's still a sense of individual identity, and you're still you, not some hive mind, right? But like you and I inter-are. My being partakes of your being, and when we lose a species to extinction on this earth, part of us becomes lessened, weakened. And so this is the real reason to save the earth. And that's part of my mission with Soulforce Performance Arts, to stop ecological devastation and climate change. Interbeing allows us to do that. It allows us to see the connection between what we do as artists and these really important issues like climate change and ecocide. And I'll give you a concrete example of that. So on the one hand, it's, we can understand that the air that we breathe and the food that we eat, our body is the earth. Like your body is entirely made up of the substance of the earth. The energy that you use throughout the day comes from the sun. This is the sun's energy inside you. Right? So your very being, your mind, your consciousness is part and parcel, the part of the woof and warp of the earth, the sun, the universe. And understanding that can bring great peace. And understanding this creates the foundations for taking action in the world for climate change as well. Going beyond merely an intellectual understanding, one of the things that Thich Nhat Hanh said when asked, what is the most important thing in stopping ecocide? He said that what we most need is to hear the sound of the earth crying within us. What we most need is to hear the sound of the earth crying within us. And I wonder if you hear this sound sometimes, beneath the busyness of your day. Maybe an aching in your heart or in your gut, grief, overwhelm, anger, fear. The mindset of separation, which is sort of the opposite of interbeing, the mindset of separation says to push those feelings away. That's not going to help us, right? In fact, pushing it away, hiding ourselves, numbing out is part of what keeps the world-destroying machine running. Because those of us who become more sensitive to the sound of the earth crying within us we're naturally not going to do things that are more harmful. Right? We're naturally going to question our way of life. We're naturally going to be on the lookout for that which is life-giving. So I think we'll come back to that at the end for our contemplation. But first I want to give you a couple examples of how interbeing can occur in your life as an artist. There's so many. For me, a big one is playing from the heart. I have a very specific meaning around playing from the heart. For me, it's when you play, you teach, compose, whatever it is that you do, and you listen to what I call the inner audience member, your emotional heart gut center, instead of merely trying to fulfill predetermined expectations or outcomes or trying to get the notes right, if you're a musician. Those are all kind of static ideas. And when you play from a place of static ideas, what you get is static music or static acting. Whereas if you play from something dynamic and alive inside you, your actual emotions, then your music comes alive. And this is what I call playing from the heart. And what this really represents is a place where things come together, a reunion of technique and heart. These things are not separate, not at least not in their best forms. And also a reunion of audience and performer. When your inner audience member is a part of your playing, then your audience member, like your other people in the audience, are going to feel more alive. When you're more bored with what you're playing, then they're going to be more bored with what you're playing. So you and your audience are as well. So another example from interbeing in arts is what I call the yoga of art. Yoga means union. So again, a coming together of separation, a healing of separation. A very poignant example is in how to motivate young kids to practice. One method of motivation is threats, manipulation, punishment, trying to make kids practice. And of course, this doesn't work so well. But the solution is not right. But and it makes sense though to try to do that because we know that it takes a lot of hard work to do what we do, to become a master at what we do. And yet forcing creates a lot of problems. And give everybody a gold star, just feel it, man. The hippie kind of way doesn't really work either. So what we need instead is to really make things fun and joyful. Like make mastery, the process of mastery, heartfelt, fun and joyful, and I have lots of ideas for that. But when that happens, then this is what real internal motivation could be. When mastery and fun and joy and heart are aligned, that's where the magic happens. So I won't get more into that right now. I want to start to bring this to a close. So I'll say, before we do a little contemplation, what the world really needs right now is for more of us to come from a place of interbeing. The polarization is such a big problem. It's like the big problem in our culture. It doesn't matter what your ideas are. If you talk about them in a way that antagonizes others, then what hope do you have of seeing your ideas fulfilled? Right? And this is not about capitulation to people you deem unworthy. It's rather like what is actually effective action, and interbeing is a way of seeing this. Like, we're all in this together, basically. When they really take that in, the people that you might disagree with, they're not going anywhere. We're all in this together. And if we can act from a place of we're all in this together, if we can play and teach from a place of we're all in this together, I wonder if you can feel how the compassion already starts coming up. So let's close this video today with a little contemplation of we're all in this together. So you can think of maybe people in your life who are really easy to get along with, people for whom you have an uncomplicated relationship. We're all in this together. That's pretty easy. Maybe there are people you feel neutrally about. The cashier at the grocery store or a business acquaintance. We're all in this together. Just notice what that does in your heart. We're all in this together. Now think of somebody for whom getting along is difficult. So somebody with whom you have a difficult relationship, or maybe somebody who you feel real animosity towards. Could be somebody in your life, could be a political figure, whoever. We're all in this together. Again, just notice what that does in your heart. We're all in this together. Okay. Your homework for today is to say this to yourself throughout the day, to practice it. We're all in this together. Do it when you're with friends. Do it when you're working. Do it when you're walking about outside somewhere. You just see what happens. Yeah, do it while you're playing. See what happens. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow for day 3 of 100 Days of Soulforce. Okay. Bye.